Dinkum has become one of my favorite games of all time, reminiscent to Stardew Valley. It takes a slightly different approach and reveals itself as more of a city builder, where you find a settlement and grow it over time within this beautiful 3D world inspired by the Australian Outback. Join me as I establish Musketeerville with but a few tents and transform it into a thriving town. Watch me fail at cultivating a tiny farm plot to harvesting massive wheat fields, while fending off dangerous beasts that encroach and threaten the future of the town. Observe me at my lowest point that utterly broke me, to making a miraculous comeback and absolutely loving my 100 days in Dinkum. The game began where I was given the opportunity to create my Dinkum character. I always like to make a representation of myself, but confused that purple is an eye color and blue is not. Well, I always wanted fabulous purple eyes. Yep, that's definitely me. Artemis has been born, and I'm en route to a place called Musketeerville. But for the moment, I guess I'm a resident of this place called South City, where everybody lives apparently. Look at all those happy faces. Well, I'm happy that someone called Fletch is looking for a young go-getter to help them get to their old home. Sounds like the most extreme version of helping an elderly person cross the road, so alright, why not? I get my first aerial view of Musketeerville and I'm loving this vibe. We land and Fletch wants to meet me outside to explain some stuff. Now, people always ask Australians if we ride kangaroos here or something like that. As an Australian, the next clip sums up our experience in this land down under. Oh god! Ow, ow, ow! No! Jesus Christ! God damn it, man! This croc may have caught me at the most inopportune moment, but I will be ready next time. Goodness gracious me! For now, I have a look at the map I was given and set out looking for a perfect location for the future town. I spot some curious things along the way, like this giant metal tower. I see several ore veins and I make sure to ping them on my map with an appropriate diamond image. I forage some bush limes, pick up some wood from the ground, find some bananas, and I find a spot eventually. It's still 10 AM at this point. I am making great time. But from this point of view, I see a lot of flat ground. I get distracted by some quangdongs though, but then I see a little bit of a pond at the front of this huge space of flat land, kind of like a corridor that is all the same elevation. I think this is going to be my town location. But as it's still early, I go exploring some more and collecting as much as I can because, fun fact, until I place this tent down, time will not progress. It's free time and I'm going to milk it. I also torment the wildlife, of course. You ain't gonna catch me, mate. I'm the gingerbread man. Oh shit, he's gonna catch me. Don't mind me, I'm just collecting some bananas. It's fine, I'm a professional Australian, I know what I'm doing. I come across another metal tower and I can see that I can interact with it, although this doesn't mean much to me at this point. I also see this Tasmanian devil looking thing that spits fire. Accurate. Now, I've spent some time exploring. Look at all those fruits I've collected. And I finally decide to place down this base tent. Old Gal Fletch is happy with the location of Musketeerville and gives me my own personal tent, so I toss it right down opposite the base tent. It even comes with a mailbox. How thoughtful. Now, Fletch tells me we might have a visitor soon and that I should set up a dedicated location for people to temporarily stay here. So I dedicate this spot here and destroy a pile of stone placing it down. It's nice to know that debris won't prevent building placements. Fletch gives me her father's old adventurer's journal to help me keep track of my milestones. My first milestone is to make us a campfire. I oblige and I also cook up a lime, as cooked foods are generally better as opposed to eating them raw. Fletch says to take the rest of the day off and go catch some bugs or something else to relax. I just might do that. I place down my sleeping bag in my tent. Oh my god, that looks bare. I have a look at this journal Fletch gave me. On the left are going to be long-term goals, which I'll touch on later. On the right are my daily milestones. These will update every single day and give the player something to aim for in the short term and will be rewarded with permit points. I'll also explain them later. So for today, I need to catch some bugs, harvest some bush limes, and craft something, which I've already done. It has been a long day, but here's everything I've collected on this first day. I decide to sleep at 3 PM because I am kaput. Each night when I go to bed, it gives me this overview of everything I collected, what levels I gained in skills such as foraging and bug catching, more skills will come like mining and fishing, and finally the amount of dinks I have earned, which is 0, all in good time. I wake up the next morning and I'm notified that someone is visiting the island, but I have a look at my daily milestones first. And chat with 2 residents and harvest 9 yellow wattle flower. Okay, that's easy to do. I'm also going to go ahead and grab all these. As I'm collecting those milestones, you see that they increase over time. So the more I do things in the game, like once I reach X amount of steps for example, I get another reward for those steps and the next milestone increases. There's a lot of unknown ones, but I'll unlock them over the course of the game. I duck into this visitor tent and I find a bloke called John, and he seems to be a bit of a general store type fella. He sells a lot of different things that would help me, like tools and crafting machines. Now I'm aware that I need some licenses before I can buy these tools from him. I buy the licenses from Fletch and they cost me permit points, which I get from doing either those daily or long-term milestones. So I get the mining, logging and fishing licenses at this point. There's quite a few left to go however. Fletch suggested making John feel at home, talk to him, do something for him to encourage him to stay. Today however, he asked me for a random piece of furniture. The only piece of furniture I have is the sleeping bag. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Never mind that, I will sell all this random junk and bugs that all made here and make some dinks. In fact, he offers me just under 10,000, which sounds fair to me. Fletch wanted me to buy this table saw for cutting logs, which I do. And I also buy a pickaxe, a fishing rod and a wood cutting axe at this time, as I have the licenses for them. I do not have the excavation license, so Johnny Boy refuses to sell me a shovel. Absolutely outrageous! I'll come back for that later. I expand my little crafting hub with this table saw, and Fletch says it's the first step to making materials required to build proper homes for people to stay here. She wants me to go mine some tin ore as well as getting a few bits and bobs, so I go and do exactly that. Once I return, she teaches me the crude furnace recipe, which I promptly make and place it down in my little hub, and I start smelting some tin. Fletch teaches me how to craft nails and a wooden crate, which is going to help my storage situation. Now my last daily milestone is to cook something at the cooking table, which I don't have. So I go break some random barrels for resources and chop down some trees. I saw up some planks and I eventually have what I need to make this cooking table. And guess where it goes? Yep, my crafting hub. And the only thing I can make is a fruit salad with all those fruits I gathered before, which may foreshadow a staple food source I'll be aiming for. I do some more deforestation, and I place down my first storage crates, and I move my table saw, which is nice actually. Crafting things can simply be picked up and moved so you never really lose crafted machines. I moved my crafting things to this side and I kept the cooking stuff back there. I have a look at those long-term milestones and there's a bunch I can claim again. I have to click on them to see if they are actually claimable, but the end result is nearly 1,000 permit points. I make myself a lot of campfires to improve my lime cooking output. Why am I doing that when I can make fruit salads? The answer is lost to me it seems. I do end up with 8 campfires, which I used to cook meat I scavenged yesterday. I find these travel bags inside Fletcher's tent, and I use them to store all my items I got from those metal barrels. I hit my sleeping bag next, and I watch all of my achievements I have made for day 2. I did quite a lot actually. Johnny Boy is still visiting on day 3, so I really want to encourage this fella to stay here. He says he wants a fish, and as I have a rod, I can do that. I go and see Fletch and I get my excavation, hunting and tool belt licenses. The latter increases the amount of slots you see down there. Luckily Fletch also wants a fish, so it looks like I'm going fishing today. I cast my line into this mangrove area. When I hook a fish, it immediately struggles. When the fish is not struggling, I hold my left mouse button to reel it in, until it struggles again. This meter shows how much error I have left before I lose the fish. Quite simple. I also come across something out of place. Hey buddy, are you a little bit stuck? Are you trapped? Oh dear. I'm at the northern coast where I cast my line looking for that fish for Fletch. I have absolutely no idea which fish is which. I just pick one and hope it's the one I'm looking for. Luckily on this occasion it is the one I'm looking for, but on the way home I voice a concern of mine. I'm a little bit worried about the lack of ores that I can see on this island. There is not really a whole lot. I say that, but 5 seconds later, I come across a really nice ore deposit, which I promptly mine up. I give old mate his fish he wanted, and he gives me green boots. But more importantly, he decided he wanted to stay here. I can now speak to Fletch, who has the town deeds, and of course, John's shop is here now. It costs 75,000 dinks, and a bunch of other resources. I can put the town in debt for the time being, but I will have to pay it off eventually. I decided the location of John's store to be next to Fletcher's tent. I also give Fletch her fish she wanted, and she gives me a shirt. Bargain. I do some crafting and I get all the materials I needed to make John's shop. I drop it all into this box and the construction will begin tomorrow. Luckily, I'm not responsible for that part. In the meantime, because I got that hunting license, I'm able to craft some spears now, which is exciting, and I call it a day. I also made 12,000 dinks by selling random things to John. I go see John the next morning and I buy a shovel from him, because I have a big plan. I see that I have a letter in my post box, and it's from Fletch, who's thanking me for all my efforts thus far. I get a few licenses, like this cargo one for more inventory space and animal handling, which teaches me how to make a coop. I do something I'm ashamed of, which is attacking a roo, but looking at the bigger picture, I'm trying to teach myself how to hunt and collect meat, as it's a good source of income. I try my luck at this croco and eventually pull it off. I do get bitten myself as well, but croco meat and teeth will sell for quite a bit. I have milestones to cut some grass today and collect bottle brush, which is kind of hard to find. I try to do these milestones each day, so unless it's something out of the ordinary, I'm going to gloss over these now. I have this huge open space a short distance from the town. I have 50 bananas and I slowly start to dig the soil. I toss a banana in the hole, recover it with dirt, and that's how I start my orchard. I do these in rows, so I have space to run in between the trees when they're grown. I actually start on a few rows of apples as well this day, but I will have more bananas than the rest of the fruits. No one is visiting the next morning, but Johnny Boy finally has his own shop, so that is fantastic news. Fletch was also hungry this morning, so I brought her a cooked bush lime to sate her hunger. For the most part, I try to do daily requests for villagers as well, so I'm going to gloss over these now unless it's for someone important. On this occasion, she gave me a whole damn bed for a single lime, which I think was a steal. Later, I was also minding my own business when luck was thrown my way, which then ended in tragedy. Ooh, what have I just found? No! I didn't want to attack it. That is a huge fail. I console myself by checking out John's new shop. Very nice, he has some new stock as well now. I get the landscaping license, so I get to make paths now, which I'll do later. I then make some progress on my orchard, which is nearly done now. I kill an encroaching croco, I buy a metal detector from John, and a wheelbarrow, which might come in handy, and this grinder for grinding up rocks. I witnessed a crocodile kill a shark, which I then avenged the shark and I collected the spoils from both, all before sleeping soundly in a comfy bed inside of a tent. It was a good day. Someone new is visiting the next morning. It turns out it's this fella and he's called Theodore, and he loves documenting animals and such. He wants to build a museum here, and he has already spoken to Fletch about this. I didn't have to do anything it seems, but I bring him a butterfly as he asked for one regardless. Now Fletch says we shouldn't apply for any more deeds while the town is currently in debt, which was John's 75,000 deed. That debt has only barely been paid, so it looks like all debt will need to be paid by me. I don't have the money at this time, so I go and sell everything I can at this point, and I'm at about 57,000. I go do some fishing for extra money, and there seems to be a storm raging this day. As I go north, my money prayers are answered. If you could see my eyes right now, they are in utter shock. But I am actually very happy with that. Yoink. Now Johnny Boy says it weighs just over a kilo, which is worth 35,000. I know this is worth much more once I crack this bad boy open, because inside is 4 opals, and they sell for 15,000 each, which results in 60,000 profit as opposed to 35,000. With my windfall, I delete the town's debt, which is good news. I then get the museum deed, which will put us back into debt by 125,000, but that's Dinkum for you. I nestle the museum back here and I'll deliver all the required materials. I have mail on day 7. Fletch has somehow tossed an entire Eastern-style couch into this tiny letterbox. I love gaming logic. The luck continues shortly later, because we have completely run out of fruit. Yes, I will not make this mistake again. Pick up. Johnny Boy will offer me about 12,000 for this beehive that weighs 1.5 kilos. I'm so glad I didn't misclick this time. Now I can see I can get a better hunting license, which teaches me better weapon recipes, and they should do more damage. My current spare does a measly 4 damage at this point, which is pitiful. But I have strategies, which is hiding behind rocks and using this longer reach weapon to inflict said 4 damage. Or standing on the high ground and yelling out, "It's over, Croco! I have the high ground!" I also like to think that Fletch is blind. Look at this. You'd think she would learn her lesson, but later this night she surprises me again. Oh, for goodness sake, really? You idiot. It's day 8 and someone new is visiting. It's Franklin, the scientist, and he's looking for lost technology. Mainly, I can give him these shiny discs that I can dig up, which is information from the past. Oh, by the way, the game takes place in the future or something. Now today, I wanted to sell a bunch of stuff, but can you open? Oh wait, it's closed today. Well. How dare you close your shop, you animal? I go and torment the wildlife next. Hey buddy, come to me. Come here buddy. Oh shit. Oh no! Afterwards, I go give some shiny discs to Franklin, and he gives me quite a lot of money for them. This also helps unlock things that he can make for me. I buy this repair kit from him for 30,000, and then I peruse his scientific doodads that he can make for me. In the night, I expand my orchard a little bit. Fletch tells me something important the next morning, which is that if I can convince 5 people to move here, then we would be recognized as an official settlement. Okay, some pipeline goals. For now though, I give Johnny a butterfly, and in return, he gives me this. A ninja hood? Really? Did you just give me this? What is this? No! I'm not wearing that. Okay, fine, just for today. I then sell everything for a tidy profit of 70,000, which is good news. I travel north and I find a lot of mining spots up here, which is also good news. I go and bully the wildlife next, which is news. I catch some fish, admire my growing orchard, stockpile a bunch of nearly broken tools, and make an improved spear, which I test out shortly later, and it does 7 damage, which is really nice. Someone else is visiting on day 10, and it looks like it's Rain, and she sells farming type things. I help myself to a watering can for 10,000 and a hoe for 800, but I don't buy any crops just yet. But as I'm spending money, I go and pay off the town debt. I then apply for the bulletin board for 10,000, and I toss it down here, and this is where residents could add special requests, as well as their daily requests, which is quite nice. Theodore's museum has been ready for quite some time, and I see I can donate things I catch to him, which makes sense. What I didn't know is that he gives me 100 permit points for each new specimen I bring him, which is a great deal actually. I spend those points on a better mining license, and I use one of those nearly broken pickaxes along with 2 copper bars to make a brand new copper pickaxe, which is an efficient use of a base tool. These copper tools are more effective than the basic tools, which is obvious. I gave Rain a fish that she asked for, hoping that she would like it enough to make her stay here, but no dice. The next morning I get this updated logging license before I go check out that first post on the bulletin board. Fletch saw something drop out of the sky and she wants someone to investigate. I guess those Croco encounters has scared Fletch into staying at home. I guess I'll go then. Along the way I can finally break open these big boy rocks and I get my first iron ore, which is a step up. I eventually come across this mystery and it looks like a fallen satellite. Not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do here, so I eventually settle on breaking this thing, and apparently that completes my investigation. Despite the fact that I destroyed what looked to be expensive equipment, I do get some things though. Now today I hunted a little bit, which has left me on a little low health. I wasn't counting on this to happen. Oh, there she is. Speak of the devil. Ow, 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 ow. Hey Fletch. Are you willing to chat to me while I'm on fire? You're on fire, Artemis. No, you are correct. Oh no! Can you revive me? So dying apparently skips to the next day, it seems. I wake up the next morning and I think the only thing that happened was my tools lost durability and I lost some dinks, though I don't know how much. Maybe Fletch looted me. Anyways, Rain is here again today and I do her daily request by selling her 3 kwangdongs. I then buy 18 onion seeds and the prices scare me quite a bit. Funny enough, an alpha croco slaying quest doesn't instill me with fear at all. So I go and deal with him, but where is it on the map? Is that right? It's right over there. Oh, that's so funny. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Come on. I seem to have encountered a very docile alpha croc. Are you serious? Come on. I tried to annoy him several ways, including tossing a fishing line at him. Come on, pal. I haven't got all day. I eventually have to do the long jump and stab to get some damage on him. He eventually drifts out of reach and I try a new close-up method. Seriously, game? Ow! This seems to have woken up the beast, and he gets a cheeky bite on me. Was that even the alpha croc? Once he dies, I kind of think that isn't the alpha croc. But a little later, I do see this guy spawning out of nowhere, and I engage in what is a little boss fight, which is exciting. The guy is quite big, he does big snaps and he often pounds the ground, which sends ripples in the earth my way and does big damage. Ow! Okay, damn it. I eventually overcome this ferocious beast and I got some raw prime meat from him, as well as an alpha scale. I then got round to making a copper axe, before seeing John about that 27,000 dinks he owes me for slaying that alpha. Next up, I was clearing up some space for those 18 seeds I bought, but I also found a beehive, which is quite lovely. I hoe up the land, plant some seeds, and I water all of them. And the next morning, I see that this will be a daily affair. Very well then, at least I have a water source right there. I go see Fletch and I want this deep mine license. I'm about 1200 permit points short though, so I go and donate some stuff. I'm doing a request for a villager, because this also gives you 50 permit points as well as the reward, which is why doing daily requests for villagers is worthwhile. For some excitement, I light myself on fire again. I cook some meat for a daily milestone and then proceed to sell the meat and some random fish which was required for another milestone. I update my logbook with those long-term goals, which also gives me quite a few points, and I think I have enough now. Oh, you're joking me, I'm 5 points away. Literally 5 points. You animal. I quickly donate one final fish to make what I need. Too bad I have to wait until tomorrow, because Fletch has clocked off for the day. I make myself a bunch of fruit salads after, as I want a decent food source. This keeps me energized as I go on a massive tree chopping session. I do some terraforming because I have an idea on what I want to do here, but it will take a few days. Luckily for me, it's raining the next morning, so my crops are getting a natural soaking. However, I think I noticed that one top corner is missing its crop. Foreshadowing. I don't have time for distractions. I get that deep mine license from Fletch before confronting a kangaroo. No worries at all. None of that's mine, you filthy cretin. You stay away from my cooked limes, you hear me? Don't you look at me like that, off with you. I said off with you, mate. it came to violence. I go see Frankie Boy who's looking for a butterfly, which I'll do for him later, but I give him some discs for scientific research for 44,000. Now for some reason I really wanted a quarry from Franklin, but it's going to take quite a few things that I don't have. I think it's because I got that license for deep mining, so I think I thought this quarry was the deep mining, which is incorrect, and I'll realize my mistake later. One thing I need is a proper furnace, as I can smelt iron with this thing for that quarry. I have a look at my travel bags because that's where I've been storing all those metal type things. Now I need more iron ore and some button boards, so I search the map for those metal barrels I can break open, but I don't find what I need. I then remembered that I have a metal detector, so I do that for the first time, and I do find those button boards I need this way. So I was just smelting that last iron bar I needed to make all my efforts today worthwhile. Can you not put that one? No, Franklin, no! Dude! Are you serious? No! You better accept this, dude, or else I'm going to throttle you. So I did miss it, and I didn't throttle Franklin. Seriously? I missed it by 30 seconds. 30 seconds! That makes me mad. Yeah, that makes me very mad. Did I mention that it makes me mad? Oh, this also ticks me off, by the way. Oh no, look at this. The sad thing is, I don't know why I'm losing my crops at this point. I was assuming that it was because I didn't have a scarecrow, but later this night I'm shooing away a lizard out of my crop field, which should have been a dead giveaway then. But I mourn the loss of my onion saplings the next morning. I console myself by decorating my tent with more things I got from villagers for doing requests. But it's getting crowded in here, in fact I can't fit everything. But other than general gathering for the day, I get a little mathematical with my farming losses. Now, I'm not really a huge fan of that, to be honest. Look at that. They're all dead. Well, they're dying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 18, so 1/3 of these is already dead. A third. That's more than 25%. I was convinced that it was birds at this point, and to make scarecrows you need a watermelon or a pumpkin, both of which I haven't seen yet. No. Okay, so it's the birds. We have to... Don't tell me I have to protect my things like that. That's insane. Anyways, I do some terraforming and then plant some trees on the elevated spot, so there will be some shade on one side of the town. This is one side and I'll go do the other side as well. I also decide to shift the blame. You are not protecting my crops, John. Look at that disgrace of a farm field. What have you been doing? Oh, don't walk away from your responsibilities. See, I'm sick of your shit. Oh my goodness gracious me. While John is just being polite, the game finally throws me a bone. Wild animals will eat your crops if they aren't fenced off. Okay, I have my answer. Before I get to that, I have a visitor. It's the one and only Erwin. So you can guess that he's the animal person in this game with a wonderful haircut. Look at that bowl cut. After taunting old mate, I did his request and brought him some planks, and he teaches me how to make a rope fence. Oh, by the way, you learn a lot of blueprints at random from NPCs by doing their tasks for them. Now, old mate sells chickens. I need to make a coop first. I also make some fences, and I make this little area behind my tent for future chickens. See, those trees above might offer some shade in the future. So 5,000 later, and I have one chicken named Elizabeth. She will have her own feeding trough, and I buy 100 chicken feed because I don't know if this guy wants to stay yet. I release Beth in her pen, I give her some chicken feed, a quick pet, and I have my first chicken in Dinkum. I then make a proper fence area for my crops as these ones are nearly all eaten by this point. It's too bad I don't have any extra seeds, so my first crop field has completely failed, quite badly. I go greet Beth the next morning, much like I do with my own dog. We got a... Hello, where's my little chick? Hello? Hello. I get my brewing license that unlocks billy cans, I go check out the museum exhibits, and there's a couple things here and there. I have a lot of money to spend, so I buy some crafting machines to increase my output. This area is going to hum at night. I also start this process. All my fruit trees are ready to be harvested, so I spend an eternity collecting all my fruits of my labor. I don't know if I got it all because my harvesting techniques are shocking, but there you have it. I got into a scuffle with a few big birds, nearly died to a crocodile again, but this was the real sad stuff here. Yep. It's a sad day. Stuff has been eaten. All of it. Well, okay. That was like 550 or I don't know how much money I spent there, but I spent quite a bit, but every single onion was eaten. Oh well, so you learn. This was that pleasant hum I mentioned before. It's also late, so I decided to make all my fruit salads now, all 38 of them. I really wish I could say craft all, but I have to manually click each one. I haven't said this before, but once it reaches midnight, the game just says late. Any energy consuming things I do now will exhaust me, but it's a good time to do things that don't require energy, like smelting, cooking, harvesting, and I'll make more use of this in the later days. For the next day though, I go and meet Clover who sells clothing items. Remember that ninja hood I got before? Yeah, she sells them for 31,000 dinks. Not for me, but I did give it to Mangrove Sticks, because that's what she asked for. I don't ask, I just do. And I got a minimalist seat for my efforts. Oh, it's classic. Very nice. So I test selling out one fruit salad and it sells for 1,388, which is pretty nice. It's more than all the fruits combined if they were raw. If they were cooked, that's a different story, but that involves cooking every single one and I don't have time for that. I do have time for a better mining license because I really want to make an iron pickaxe, which I'm looking forward to. I also prove I'm a big child. I test out this iron pickaxe and it's quite powerful. I one-shot a lot of these rocks now. I plant a few rows of hardwood trees on the opposite side of town so the sun can be blocked from this angle. And I finish my day with metal detecting, and this is what I got at the end of the day. Mostly gears. This also grinds my gears. Excuse me? What are you doing in my chair, John? You cheeky bastard. No wonder that seat's warm. Oh, did he just fart? By the way, Beth is now grown up and I've got 2 eggs, meaning she's been an egg layer for 2 days. Pet her more. Yeah, she loves it. After that delightful encounter, I think about expanding my orchard. In fact, I think about adding 10 spots to each row, so doubling its size, I think. I also have a go at Fletch again. Alright, Granny, you're gonna get yourself assaulted by... Are you serious? Like, are you joking me right now? You just don't care, do you? I've been collecting wattle and bottle brush and I think about planting these as well. I do have to destroy them to get the actual seeds, and I only have wattle seeds at this point. I was looking around at some things for me to craft and I come across this billy can. I put it outside and I ponder the purpose of this bucket hanging over a fire. I checked Google for this and I'm surprised I looked at this so early. I saw all of these jams I could make from my fruits, but alas, this went over my head and I honed in on the wattle and bottle brush for now. So I make 4 and toss the wattle in to brew some tea. I collected them the next morning and it has some nice energy gains and a few other buffs that don't make any sense to me right now. I see Erwin is visiting again, so I make sure to go chat and give him his cactus fig, which funny enough hurts you when you eat it. I buy an extra feeding trough and a chook called Karma and I release her into this pen. I wasn't actually sure if I needed an extra coop though. One of those wattle teas sold for just under 1,600, so I was quite happy with that. I was also stunned that Fletch tried to sell me 3 cabbages for 15,000. Oh, are you serious? 3 cabbage? No, thank you. Yes, it was. I'm not paying 15,000 for 3 pieces of cabbage. Are you joking me? Yeah, after that poor pitch from Fletch, I go and gather a bunch of seeds, including cactus fig ones, for Erwin just to keep him fed. I saw a shark that got a little careless. I get a bunch of different bushes that give me seeds to replant later, some wattle seeds and bottle brush. Those last ones seem a little bit rare, but all of which I plant at home. Speaking of homes, I noticed that Beth was sleeping in her coop tonight and poor Karma was sleeping outside in the rain. So of course I made her a coop and she automatically waltzed in there. That's good stuff. Day 21 I did a lot of fishing requests for people, but also looking for any kind of fish I could donate to Theodore. I did some diving and I found a pearl, which was quite nice. And to help out with the donating, I finally stumbled upon the Journalpedia. It shows every fish or critter on the other page that I have caught. The ones with a little building sticker next to them are the ones I've already donated. This is going to come in handy keeping track of all my catches. So now I know that I needed to donate this bluefish, so that's another one crossed off. Everything else gets sold to old mate at his shop. And I have almost 500,000 dinks at this time. Remember that shade I was talking about? Absolutely gorgeous, mate. I also start working on the aesthetics of the town with a simple brick road, and I plant another 50 bananas, which was really time consuming and it was late when I finished. Owen is visiting again the next day and I really want him to stay here. He wanted cactus figs again because he's hungry. And after a brief chat, guess what? As I'm asking him about a chook, he says he finally wants to move here, which is wonderful news. Also, this chook is called Hazel, and I don't make a mistake, I set her up right away. I go and see Fletch about Irwin's deed, and I come across the deep mine deed. You know that thing I was confused about because I thought Franklin had to build me a quarry? Oh no, he does something different. The deep mine was all up to me, I was just an imbecile. I have the funds, so I actually go ahead and get both deeds today. The deep mine cost me 250,000, by the way. I'm all of a sudden incredibly poor, but that's fine. Jesus, it's stop going down! Oh god, no! Lordy lord! Okay, that's fine. I toss Owen's barn back here and the deep mine close to the crafting section. I wish I realized I can do this sooner, for goodness sake. But regardless, I have all the materials for the deep mine. I sing to myself later as I gather what I need for Owen's barn. Hey man, you with the sad face, come on to my place, we'll live it up. You ba-ba-da-bum-bum, we'll live it up. In fact, today was a day for some bangers. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. My oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sun. Oh, hello birdie, how are we? If you're wondering, the birdie was not well. I also looked at my pedia, and these are the people I've met and their current friendship hearts. 3 people I have met have not moved in yet, sadly. But it's also interesting to see where my mind goes when I play games. I'm so sorry, buddy, but your time has come. You will feed somebody that I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody I used to know. Alright, all the singing was able to get me everything I needed for Owen's barn. I have a milestone to trap an animal and deliver it the next day. I've never actually done this before, but I do make a simple trap. My plan is to put the trap down and hurt this roo inside. It's a little difficult though. Yes. No, you just missed it, you animal. Roar! Into the thing. Yes, gotcha, mate. So I do get it, but how do I deliver it? I let old mate just chill here for a moment, and I go and make an animal collection point, which I place here, and then I sent this roo on one hell of a ride. A red jackaroo. See ya, buddy, take care. I go and complete my orchard by expanding the other fruits I haven't planted yet, and then I spend a lot of time chopping wood to get my foraging up, with the odd bonus here and there. As I was minding my own business, I hear something. Hello? After a brief search, I find the offending individual, Ted Sally. Allmet is a bit of a hunter, it seems. He actually sells a lot of really awesome weapons, but expensive. The prices turn me off right away. I find another tower, and I can see that I can fix them if I place certain items in them. Generally things I get from metal detecting. Rain was visiting the next day again, and just after a brief chat, she decided she wanted to stay here, which is fantastic news. I also sold her some bottle brush for her daily request. Her shop cost 200,000, a bit more than I have, but I'll pay it off later. I placed her shop right behind Owen's barn, because it looked cool, and I got all the materials right away. I then buy 20 wheat seeds from her to try my hand at farming again. Speaking of farming, my orchard was ready to be harvested again, but I think the next time they're ready, I'll harvest them all at nighttime, as it's a non-energy consuming task. I plant these 20 wheat seeds and it's fenced off this time. I go and check out that deep mine and I see that I need a pass for this. Turns out I have to buy this pass for 25,000 from John. He also says it's a one-time use. I really wanted to see what it looks like and I have a little bit of a whinge as I go down. Can't believe I have to pay for it, despite the fact I, got this thing up and running. Goodness me. Now, let me share my first experience in the deep mines. It's dark. Very dark, except for an odd faint light source here and there. There are monsters in here, the first of which I found were bats that fly and are hard to kill, really hard to kill, which makes them a complete nightmare. They also spawn a lot. In fact, it seems they will always respawn near you. I come across a bush devil, luckily close to the lift, so I have a little bit of a light source to try and kill it. Blindly, I find some ores down here. I fall into the water, which is terrifying underground. I get set ablaze in the darkness, but I do manage to stay alive by eating some fruit salads while I'm burning. To make matters worse, I run into 2 bush devils right now. I do manage to kill them at the elevator, but one sets me ablaze one last time. And seeing as I just ate, I could not eat because my poor belly was too full. So I slowly roasted to death in the mine elevator. Well, goddamn, man. I get to revive in here at another cost of 23,000 or something. I briefly walk out, get assaulted by another bat, at which point I lose my temper and I say no. And I have a bigger whinge. That was horseshit. John is enjoying himself in his shop, charges me to use the thing that I built. I got a little bit of a complaint for you, mate. I think it's absolutely shite that you charge me to use the deep mine pass, or the mining thing, despite the fact I paid for it and you did absolutely nothing. Don't act all innocent. I start to fix this by making some more food and de-stressing by expanding some paths in the town and connecting the buildings. The next morning, after that failure yesterday, I have a look at some cooking recipes I could make that could help in the mines. Specifically these meat on a stick ones, which gives a lot of health and energy, more so than the salads, and they seem quite easy to make. I then go and buy this torch or flashlight, seems like John says it's a torch, but I seem to have a reliable light source now. I visit Erwin in this new barn. It looks like he has more stock and more animals for sale now. I'm back at John sulking because I have to buy another mine pass for 25,000, but I do go down again. A huge step up is the torch. It is a lifesaver, but I have to hold it when I want to attack, so I need to switch items. So you really need to memorize and be comfortable with your hotbar with your items needed in here. I'm still not really on top of combat while in here, so I run away mostly. I'm not coping well with the bats and the bush devils, and they really put the terror in me. I do get a little bit of ore, and I take refuge behind this man-made structure to kill this foe. I use my map to help find my way to unexplored areas, but because I passed out last time, my pickaxe doesn't get me very far. You can see the little bit of ore I gathered today. I head up because I want to make a new pickaxe, but when I go up I get this really bad feeling and I immediately check the elevator, which now tells me I need another day pass. So, once you come back up, that's it, your day is spent. Forget something too bad, make do with what you have. And I'll be honest, this really rustled my jimmies. I do smelt what little ore I got today. The next day, Sheila is visiting the town. She looks like a bit of a cook it seems, but as luck would have it, today seems to be her birthday and apparently I remembered it, is what she tells me by the way. So I give her a fruit salad and that's about as positive as a first meeting can go. I also seem to have an actual healthy crop field by the way. The town has got 5 residents, so we are finally recognized as an official settlement, which is fantastic news. The current tent we're in can be upgraded to a town hall. Fletch says that she'll cover the costs herself, which is really appreciated. She says everyone in town have given me this golden jackaroo statue for all my efforts. I got the brewing license so I can finally make some cakes as well. Fletch did ask me to get the materials for the town hall. I may forget to do this by the way, because I get excited about the cake and I put some wattle tea in there. I checked the wiki and I see that it is wattle brew that I will get, and this has some great buffs. and it also looks like a mining buff as well, which I will look forward to. So I gather more wattle and wattle seeds this day. And I had a little bit of a fruitless search for materials, which prompted me to say, okay, we're kind of stuck. We have to go and do some stuff in the mines, because, hello, how are we? We have to do some stuff in the mines because we're running low on resources, and we're not finding enough to replenish our stocks up here. I'll be honest, I hated the mines and I really wanted to avoid it. However, I summoned my courage and I got another mine pass for 25,000 again the next day. I feel like you're exploiting me, John. Why do you hold the monopoly over the mine shaft? I don't understand. I prepare myself and I feel like I have what I need for a good run today. Honestly, today went much smoother. I didn't run into any monsters, except bats of course. How do you deal with these bats? There's gotta be a better way with dealing with these bats. This is insane. I will find my solution later, but for now, I come across an actual structure, and I find an entrance but I'm unable to enter. I also discover the secondary use for my torch, which makes a bright light, and I can use this to stun enemies, which is a step up. Goodness me. Okay, we're fine. Where is this devil? Okay, get him. Okay, got him. Goodness me, what a mission. Goodness me. I find another room that bars my way and it really piques my curiosity. Also, while editing this, I see a huge thing I messed up here. I found a ruby chunk here that I could pick up, but because it's dark, I just kept hitting it and I broke it into shards. I'll elaborate soon. I'm back above ground and I'm looking at all the spoils, and at this point, past me was not really over enthusiastic about the results, especially when it cost me 25,000 each time to go in there. My mining opinion will change later for the better, but not before getting much worse. Now, because I was struggling in the mines so much, I was turned off the game for a bit. It had been 2 weeks since I played and I woke up to a little bit of wattle brew. I tried selling one ruby shard to John and he offered me 2,000 dinks for it, which I thought was very low. At this point, I didn't realize I destroyed that big ruby chunk the day before, so this further annoyed me. I go and meet Sally the hairdresser next. I did her daily by giving her 5 palmwood, which was an absolute banger. I then paid 5,000 to her to have a look at the hairstyles, and I decided to keep my current hairstyle. So really, I paid her 5,000 to swivel me around in her chair. Bloody scallywag. And I can't believe I paid $5,000 despite the fact I didn't actually change my hair. That's I can't believe I just got robbed. I buy some sugarcane from Rain for a daily milestone, and in my time away from the game, I thought about those locked doors, and that I've been finding these old keys while metal detecting and such. I had a hunch. The hunch is down here, but unlucky me, the first time in 2 weeks, and I find a lot of monsters, and it gets very stressful for me again in the deep mines. Oh, Jesus, man. I do dodge my way to this room and I use my keys for it. Looks like 2 each time is required. I see a chest and some torches inside. I pick up the torches and I find a bunch of random things in this chest. I didn't realize I could pick up the empty chest at this point. I also need to mention this here. This was recorded last year early November with my then computer that was starting to burn out. I could hear my PC overheat while I was playing and recording, and it was putting a lot of additional concern on me as I didn't want to overdo it for my PC. So that and the mines, the monsters, and these goddamn bats was really putting me off. But there was a stroke of luck for me today. I was about to break another ruby when chance intervened. That bush devil attack showed me that there was something there I could pick up. However, I have now lost my light source because I'm carrying this ruby, and oh my god, are you serious right now, game? Are you f***ing kidding me? Can you drop it? I really struggled to navigate back home in the dark with this precious gem. Are you f***ing for real, game? I eventually find my way back, but my nerves were ruined by this experience. I feel like I should play this clip because it really says a lot at this time. I'm not a fan right now. I am really not a fan of this game. Now day 28 was recorded on the 12th of November. The next day was recorded on the 3rd of February. So my growing concern on my PC and the mines in general had really put me off from playing the game for quite a long time. But now I had a new PC, a beast of a PC, and I was really keen to pick this back up. I took it easy as I forgot how to play. I found I had a guitar, so I quickly played a banger, to which I pondered my farming efforts. I feel like I want to redesign this place. Like this is a poor effort. Look at this place, it looks appalling. So I buy a bunch of random seeds before I get started, and I have a look at this new spot and I commence terraforming. I have a bit of a misclick. Can I like make the Tower of Pisa here? Oh, don't do that, you idiot! God damn it. Tower of Pisa has been created. Oh, am I gonna regret this? Oh no. Oh, that is definitely happening. Well, at least it gets the dirt out of my way, doesn't it? And I think that is the important part. I was up all night, but look at this beautiful empty space, ready to be seeded with crops. I make my way to John though, and I remembered I got this ruby thing 2 months ago or so. It weighs about 2.5 kilos, and it sells for 36,000, which is a mine pass fee and then some. Perhaps I should be looking for more of these bad boys. So I buy another pass, and I see this bloke also sells a machine manual, which I flip open at a machine and it tells me what I can do with that. Like I should have been taking note when I looked at my billy can in regards to all of my fruits, but this little info went over my head again. For now, I admired this free space behind my fruit trees, so I go and harvest a lot of wattle seeds, and I start creating a wattle plant farm. I also collected my fruits last night, so I'm making lots of fruit salads. A lot of fruit salads. After that, I start to plant a few rows of those cactus figs, so that I can feed Erwin, because Erwin is Erwin. And also bottle brush, because I remembered it can be made into an awesome brew worth a lot of money. I was looking for more of those plants when I come across Old Mate again, but this time I see something very interesting. A bat zapper. This sounds like exactly what I've been looking for to help me with those bats in the mines. 100,000 though is a bit steep, but I know that it exists now. Also, running back to town, I can definitely see the upgrade in the performance with my new PC. And I made a few extra cakes before going to bed. So day 32 and the small crop field is ready to go. I was happy to harvest the whole lot as well actually. I then ripped up the wattle and the stuff in this area as I wanted to dedicate it to my animals. I was waiting for that other small crop field to mature before I started this new area, and because it was raining, it was a pleasant experience. Frankie boy was visiting, and I really wanted to encourage him to stay because I really like his scientific inventions, like this repair table. I have so many nearly broken tools, but for now I have 8 CDs I can sell them, which makes me 70,000, which is quite nice. What wasn't nice was that Frankie wanted a butterfly. I searched far and wide while gathering bottle brush, but I had no luck in finding the bug he wanted. Repulsive. I did add to my new orchard though. I wake up to a few wattle brew and bottle brush tea, which is quite exciting. Here you can see I've expanded this section by quite a bit. So one bottle brush brew sells for almost 11,000, which is solid. I improved my building skills with a new license, and I can make a windmill now. It states it speeds up nearby furnaces, crushers and barbecues, which actually sounds really good. I also muster up the courage again to face my most disliked area in this game. Just a standard day in the mines though. I guess I was still taking it slow. But I do find what appears to be a bat statue down here, which is weird. It was a slow mining session. I didn't even find any locked rooms, which was disappointing, and no rubies. A bit of all though. The next morning, I come across a strange notice board request. Ooh. Okay. What? I think I'm gonna pass on that, Rain. That's a bit creepy, I think. John also sells a tape measure. Measure out towers, he says. Beauty mate. In fact, I buy a bunch of machines because I want to improve my output. I am staying up much later these nights. It is infinite time, but I want to do it quicker. Anyways, this is the new updated setup. Sheila is visiting and I was able to give her a fruit salad, which was easy friendship, but she still doesn't want to move here. I take out my frustration on these shade-giving trees because I'm thinking about future expansion for my animals, but I leave the stumps for some reason. I go look for Teddy Boy again and I have a look at what it takes to make that bat zapper. I'm a bit mortified that I need glowing mushrooms for this and thunder sacks, but I make it my mission today to get this item. I go pick a fight with some lizards and yeah, they generate electricity and I do get the thunder sacks from them, but it took all bloody day. It was late, but I was going into the mines just for those mushrooms. I swear the game knows what I'm trying to do and it throws so many bats at me and crocs, but I am determined nothing will stop me now. And indeed, I do get Teddy to make me this bat zapper. Oh, I'm gonna roast those assholes alive. So of course I gear up the next day for a trip, and this is how the zapper works. You guys don't stand a chance anymore, little dickheads. That is one massive positive upgrade. I find a room down here and I take the chest this time and I get an idea with these torches. The next time I get attacked, I toss a torch into the ground, which provides me a light source so I can see the thing I'm actually trying to kill, and this was another huge positive upgrade for me. The biggest upgrade, which I don't realize at this point, is this miner's helmet. I think I initially looked at this and thought, oh, a battery life, and it's nearly dead. Not that great for me, which isn't true. Speaking of which, the bat zapper also has a limited charge, so I have to be careful with it. But with those before mentioned upgrades, I got a much better haul, so the tide is turning into my favor. I decided to take day 37 easy and think about how my crops have been eaten. Again. Oh, by the way, I made some water features in the middle here, and yes, I can fill my watering can there. I then go deal with an alpha bush devil, and I make use of a rock pile to dodge his attacks. I get the help of a croc while I claim the high ground and relive that scene from Star Wars again, where I have the high ground and I fully cheese this fight. And I let out a mighty roar. Oh, you are mine, mate. Okay, success. I am the bravest Dinkum player that ever lived. I also start to see iron ore on the surface, which is quite exciting. Sheila is visiting again the next day. She's actually really a hard one to convince staying here because she always wants some kind of cooked item, things that I don't have ingredients for. This may foreshadow her taking her forever to move to the island. However, because that damper required milk, it made me think about getting more animals. Before that, I spent some time in the mines. I found a ruby in one of those locked rooms. You know what would have been helpful as I'm running back in the dark? Some kind of light source I can wear on my head. Yeah, what do you guys think? This is my haul at the end of the night, by the way. And I see the most iconic thing the next morning. Alright, we got a crocodile here. Is there anything about hunting? Sell for bugs? Not really. Run away. Are you serious, Owen? That is your calling in life. You're supposed to take it on. Also, I finally see a huge bonus from mining. It's around 5 kilograms. Ooh. Oh, yes! Yes, boy! Thank you very much. Mate, thank you. That is definitely worth it. Oh, baby. I see Fletch for some licenses and I get the handling one for different types of animals, and also the hunting license to upgrade my weapons. I then do a rather long metal detecting session looking for a bunch of stuff. Old keys, yes, but just stuff in general, because I remembered that the towers required these items to be fixed. Those metal towers, I mean. I also dig up what I thought was a huge chunk of gold, and I make myself iron spears before bed, which I tested out on some crocs on the morrow, and I do 10 damage with them, which is a solid improvement. A Frankie boy is visiting, and he wants a butterfly again. I saw it was an amber chunk, and it sold for 56,000, which was quite nice. While I searched for a butterfly, I quoted a game from the 90s. Can you guess what game this is? Let's go and get that right away. Right away. Yes, master. We did it. We're not playing this anymore. I've got the brains, nuh-uh. Frankie thinks it's an adequate job. I also give him a huge amount of CDs for 115,000, but he still doesn't want to stay. So I commission him for a repair table because maybe if I spend 60,000, he'd be willing to stay. I also buy pumpkin seeds because I remembered scarecrows require either a pumpkin or a melon. I make this animal stall and it's quite huge, but unfortunately, I can't buy this pleep puggle. I don't have the license for it. So that's unfortunate. I was seeing Fletch and she said we should probably build a bank here as we have grown large enough. I'll sort that later. For now, I wanted to plant these pumpkins. Weirdly, because apparently they spread. I do more metal detecting this night. So, Frankie didn't stay the night, and I was about to get mad because where is my repair table, Franklin? Oh, you tossed the entire table into my post box. I see. I make another 50,000 from another amber chunk I found last night, and I go for a bit of a mining session with my new iron spears, which really helped, and I find a ruby to cover the costs of this trip as well. And this is my haul at the end of the day. I found another miner's helmet, but I'm still yet to use them. Sheila is back and she's asking for a pasty, which I ignored, and I sold her some of my wheat because she's paying top dink for them apparently, and I get 48,000 for 90 wheat, which I think was a good deal. Speaking of crops, my tomatoes have grown and they're looking nice and juicy. I also made a juicy 60,000 profit from that ruby. I go and apply for that bank deed from Fletch and I toss it in one corner of the town. I knock over some milestones, fight for my life in the mines, and I lament the fact that my torch and zapper are at half juice at this point. I find another ruby and I curse and cuss as I'm taking this thing back in the dark, which nearly proves fatal. Game, why would you do this, game? Oh, if only I had some kind of headlight. I do make it out, but not with a good haul. I do get a good haul of fruits this night. I meet someone new the next morning. Her name is Julia, and turns out she is Theodore's younger sister. She is a bug enthusiast and she wants to have a bug catching competition. I join this competition and it ends at 4 PM and I have to catch as many bugs as I can and log them into this book. The rarer the bug, the more points. It starts at 9 AM, so off I go. And I catch anything I come across. This fiddler beetle was worth 10 points, so it's a good find. This harlequin was worth 4 points, and a stink bug is worth 1. I do see something quite rare this day. Ooh, what is that? That is an opal, actually. I need to mark that on my map. Okay, so I get to the tent and I log my catches. So far, only John and Rain are participating. I log my score and I have a significant lead. So as I'm in a cozy lead, I do some other stuff like buying seeds. But later, I see Johnny Boy hustling me. So I engage in some trash talk. You know what? Let's quickly just catch... No, mate, you need to sit down, eh? Have a rest, you filthy animal. For the last hour though, I really come up short and I find very few bugs. Oh, you're joking me. No way. Nah, that's bullshit. He doesn't have to come and log his score. I do. I'm gonna say Johnny Boy is cheating. That is bull. I've managed to find one more bug. I didn't see Johnny Boy in here at all to log his stuff, which is clearly cheating. Yeah, no, I call shenanigans on that. John, I did not see you in here at all, mate. I'm very displeased with that. I am incredibly displeased with that. I feel like I've just got robbed. Yeah, I got robbed there. That is utter bullshit. Yep, it's like he's laughing in my face. Oh, joke's on him though. I have a massive water harvest to retrieve. I wake up to the bank being completed, which is good news. I even got lit for the occasion, and I have an alpha to deal with today. On my map, where is this alpha? Oh, it's literally right there? Are you joking me? It's in my... Oh no. No, dude, I don't want you here in my fields. Come on. Yeah, come on. If you want to fight, that's fine. Ow. Yeah, that's fine, come in. I lead him to this rock formation which I make use of and eventually make the killing blow. I then get that third handling license, because I can. I sell at 80,000 ruby and make a further 150,000 from John with other stuff. I then spend a lot getting extra machines in here because I have a plan, and it involves making a windmill as some machines around it will speed up. I start figuring out this layout tonight. Frankie is visiting again today. Old mate wants an anchovy and I want him to make me a jackhammer. I go looking for this fish, but I see the biggest one I've ever seen. Okay, so we need an anchovy. What the hell is that thing? I want it. I want this. Oh, no, I definitely need a better rod for that guy. I get my anchovy quick smart and I skedaddly-doo out of there. I gave him his fish and guess what? Yes! Oh, that is good news. So I split the flesh knife apart for a deed so I can set up a permanent store here in town. I toss his house next to mine. I then see a Vombat at Owen's, which I promptly buy, and her name is Harmony. This is so great. What's with this weird angle? It's like someone is watching us from behind the barrels. Please take good care of Harmony. So here I am trying to release Harmony in what is a stable for her. Please note I keep pressing drop here, which leads me to believe that this is not the appropriate lodging for this animal. I was out getting resources all day because I didn't have enough on hand to make a small shelter, and I run into this stranger. This is Milburn, and he's the banker here. I guess he just comes with the bank apparently. Anyways, I make this other animal den, and I still have no luck shoving this Vombat into this home. Are you joking? Right. No, what are you doing? Jesus, man. I then realized I may have been hitting the wrong button, and that first stall was correct. I'm just inept. Well, all in a day in Dinkum. Did I keep hitting drop? Is that what happened? Oh, this game. Well, I've got this now for absolutely no reason. Well, that's interesting. Oi, Frankie, guess what? You're gonna be my neighbor, mate. You can make all my inventions for me. Well, you can make all my requests for me. Yes. The next morning. Or, what is this? Franklin! Here's the jackhammer. Mate. I wonder how long this lasts for. But I'm keen as a bean to use this thing. So I've been making more kegs and billy cans for water brews, and I updated this area for that, though I'm not happy with it. I haven't showed you yet, but this is what the upgraded crafting area with the windmill looks like. I was kind of happy with this idea here. I am quite happy with the jackhammer, and now I can use this to go into the mines. It makes it so much quicker, but the battery life on this thing worries me slightly. That and all the other battery things, like the bat zapper. Jesus, there was 4 of them. I also start keeping all the meat I get from the mines to make that food that gives me health buffs, and I listen to the white noise of smelting during the nighttime, and it also helps me decide to move my keg and billy can collection over here as well. I've got some good news in the morning. It looks like Franklin has finally moved in. So as I moved everything from here, I have space to expand my animal section now. Speaking of which, I made a little discovery. It looks like serenading your animals is equivalent to petting them, which saved a lot of time actually. I cleaned John out today by buying everything he has. Sheila was here and she asked me for fairy bread, which is actually really basic to make, but even then I didn't have what is required, which really made me question if I'm missing something. All I needed as base ingredients for this thing was flour and sugarcane, both of which I have. Yeah, there's still some stuff that is eluding me, if I'm completely honest. What's all this green means? No, I can't do her quest for her. I have absolutely no idea how to make that stuff. Which is a travesty, I know, but, you know, what are you gonna do? What won't elude me is that Frankie Boy can make me a charging station. I also applied to make my house an actual house as opposed to a tent. Remember that big fish that got away? Well, I'm going to improve my fishing because of that, and I'm going to make myself a copper fishing pole. I want more permit points, and looking at my pedia, there are plenty of fish I haven't donated, or even seen for that matter. So I go and cast my line a few times today. I didn't see any big fish, but because of my improved fishing, I can see bubbles now, which leads me to discover critters on the water floor beds. The new rod makes it a lot easier to fish, by the way. I wake up in a new house, by the way. Where am I sleeping? Oh, that looks very uncomfortable. Not good for your spine at all, I'm sure. Goodness me. I then go donate all of yesterday's catches to Theo and get another 600 permit points. Also, 5 wattle and 6 bottle brush brew sell for just under 100,000, which is solid profit. I bring Frankie Boy 1 flour so he can make himself a sausage roll, which he then shares with me, and the stats on this food is actually fantastic. Look at it! I also destroy those few cactus trees I had because I'm going to expand my wattle bushes. Another row of 20 is planted today, and I do another session of looking for things I can donate for permit points, while I also harass the wildlife. Take that. Come on, take the bait, you filthy animal. And before bed, I rearrange my home a little. Clover is visiting the next day. I brought her the 4 palm wood she was looking for, but she's still not interested in moving here, which is quite a shame. My once shameful production area is looking pretty schmick these days though. I grab another 800 permit points for donations, which I then use to get another farming license for upgraded tools and compost bins, and the upgraded metal detecting license, which lets me notice some buried treasure by eye. I take a flaming bat into the mines and I go beat up some bats, and I walk away with 3 rubies, which is the best day I've had so far, and I make a casual threat to John. Wait, don't you dare think about taking my stuff, mate. I'll be selling them to you tomorrow. Get out of here. And I think it's safe to say I don't like John. I finally open up this area so my animals can wander a bit more on day 50. It is also Sunday, so I can't sell anything to Johnny Boy, nor can I visit Franklin or anything. But there are 2 alpha hunting tasks today. As I make my way over, I notice X marks the spot locations with the new treasure hunting thing. This would really be helpful early on in the game, so whenever you're running somewhere, which you do quite often, you can metal detect as you're going somewhere else. And next time, I think I'm going to get it earlier. I have an epic showdown with an alpha bush devil who sets me ablaze, and an alpha jackaroo who I set ablaze for some damage over time with my flaming bat, which is quite glorious. I noticed Theo sells a camera, and I recall someone asked for a photo once. I guess this is how I do it. Also, I saw something I forgot ages ago. Got a camera for some reason. Oh wait, is this a... Oh no. How long has this been waiting here for? Okay, so I've been waiting for like 30 days I think. My wattle is ready and I'm collecting 300 of them, but I plan to expand this number, and I decide to rip up my crafting area because I want to put flooring under it. My pumpkins are ready the following day, so that's a good thing. I can finally make those scarecrows now. I sold all 3 rubies for about 260,000 profit, and the rest of all this stuff here for about 240,000. It was a really good day for Dinks, which I spent on getting that charging bay from Franklin. I'm also a bit of a hypocrite. Oh, the poor doggo. Oh, you're such a bully. I expand the town's path a little and I have a bit of a sulk, because Sheila always asks me for something I can't do, but I can expand my crafting area at least. So since I upgraded my house, this is what it looks like. But more importantly, I checked my mail, because Frankie Boy has sent me that charging bay I really wanted. The first thing I charge is the miner's helmet, of course. Can I insert this in here? Oh yes! That's going to be amazing. Oh, I'm so keen for that. This is the new area, by the way. I've decided to make this like, you know, the section for crafting stuff, etc, etc. Got a whole bunch of storage. This is going to be tools, all new tools I can use. A chest of broken tools. Once it's completely filled up, we can, you know, repair them. And then, Jesus, that thing is really noisy. And then this is going to be the area for, you know, food and all that sort of stuff. So we have got a lot of things to be doing here. All that water brew we just saw sold for over 100,000, so really solid numbers now. I decided at this point I always want to focus on doing daily tasks for people. I will concentrate on 2 at a time, and also whoever is visiting the island. For the near future, I will do tasks for John and Fletch daily until they are both maxed out with their hearts, and then I'll move on to the next villages. Speaking of which, apparently it's John's birthday and I've remembered it. Here's a banana, mate. Turns out he hates it, and he asks me to take it back. Off to a great start, I think. Fletcher's new office is looking very snazzy, and I decided to run around this night and fix all these radio towers because it's really about time I do this, and this went late into the night. There was a little bit of excitement though. No, 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 no. Oh, come on, come on. Jump! A duck, man. But it is worthwhile in the end, because these towers are teleports, and look at my locations. They are literally at every compass point, though this is going to get better very shortly. So day 53, I had Sally visiting, and my thing going forward was doing at least 2 people's daily tasks plus whoever's in this tent. Well, Sally wants a grass yellow butterfly today. It's currently 7:30 AM. I give myself a quick hair color change because why not, and I go looking for this bug. Oh, where's this little yellow butterfly, mate? You know, I would have liked to, do other things today, but apparently I am struggling to find a butterfly. Well, I really wanted to go to the mines, but I don't think I'm gonna go now. My entire day has been wasted looking for this tiny little butterfly. Well, this is fun. This is it. Little shit. Me. Yep. So 7 hours later, I find this bug. If only there was some kind of way I could discern bugs and fish from a distance. That would be hugely beneficial. These 100 sugar canes should also be beneficial. Franklin notes I've been fixing the towers, and he commends me for these efforts. He says he can build one extra one and the deed becomes available. Of course, I know where this is going when I have the deed. For now, I figure out that I could milk my wombats. So I make a cheese maker, of course, and a few scarecrows as I finally have those pumpkins. I upgrade my farming spot with a road and these crow be gone things. Now, I've been waiting for this day. Day 54 is when the game really clicked for me. I've been whining about the mines, and rightly so, it's quite difficult when you first start, but now I have a headlight freeing my hand, so when I have to carry a ruby, I can still see where I'm going. I have my torch with a flash stun option. I have good food with good buffs. I have a bat zapper to deal with the bats and a decent weapon. And I finally have the jackhammer, which makes breaking up these ores and rocks a total breeze. All happily knowing that I have a charging station upstairs that can charge all of these tools. Today, I had the best day in the mines in regards to how it finally felt, but I also walked away with over 100 ores each and a ruby and 2 of these shell looking things. At the end of this day, I also placed the telepad in the middle of the town, so now when it's done, I have easy access to all compass points on the map. Clover is back again the next day. She asked me for meat on a stick, but my delicious cooking has not yet convinced her to stay, which saddens me deeply. Though I became jubilant later selling one of those so-called fossils. Oh yes! Goodness gracious me, that thing went for heaps. Mate, how about a second one? Mining has just become significantly more lucrative. Speaking of, John has asked me to take a photo of this spot, which I did, and he wants to buy it for 11,000. Sure mate, picturesque. As I'm so pleased with the jackhammer, I commission a chainsaw from Frankie Boy next as I'm very keen on this. I buy a pleep for 25,000 from Irwin, and I call it Valerie, and it turns out this den thing I made ages ago is the type of home these pleeps want to live in. On the topic of animals, I go ahead and make a silo, and this thing automatically fills any feeding trough in an 8-tile radius, which is really quite convenient. I then made myself a grain mill, and I used my book to tell me what I could do with it, and I see I've really been missing important key things in this game, like making flour from grain or sugar from sugarcane, which will really help that cooking. When I said the game started to click for me yesterday, I really meant it. Now what kind of noise does one make when they receive a chainsaw in the post box? And we can replace our axe now. That's good. I buy an extra house deed because for some reason I thought this would make accommodation for people to move here, but later I found out that it's just for multiplayer. Well, a little extra house in the village sounds fine. I had more fun in the mines and discovered I can break all these walls, which is great for making parts, but I can also get fossils this way. I found 4 rubies and that fossil today. During the night, this is my area where I do all my crafting, and I have a lot of machines now, all powered by a windmill for extra speed. I make 8 extra grain mills to speed up the food production as well. While Sally was visiting the next day, I got her to give me my soul back, but she still doesn't want to move here, even after I gave her a slimy fish she asked for. Frankie Boy asked me to do something strange. He wanted a photo of Milburn. Before I did that, I got my commerce license, so I can sell all my stuff for 10% more, which is juicy. I make Rain's day by buying 100 wheat, and I quickly did a sneaky photo shoot of Milburn. I then go back to planting that 100 wheat and sugarcane which I bought a little while ago. I do the town a favor by using this tally tower to quickly go all the way north, at which point I chop down a massive part of the palm forest with my new toy. I really love these tools, and those telepads make traveling a breeze. I regret planting so many crops the next morning, it does my back in, but such as Dinkum. Now I've been selling a lot and I've been mining a lot, and I finally crack 1 million dinks on hand. I then show Frankie that photo of Melbourne. Sure my friend, you can keep that, I won't tell him at all. Goodness me, mum's the word I guess. Actually, for my silence, I ask him to make me a compactor, which sounds exciting. I visit the bank and I donate 1 million dinks, and this is actually a huge bonus because it opens up a whole new milestone thing for me, for where every million dinks I donate, I get 1,000 permit points. This is an amazing way to make permit points. I was peacefully sowing the last bits of my farm when I hear something. Don't you fucking growl at me, you son of a bitch. Also, I should mention this at some point, footage is lost to me, but because my friendship with John was getting better and stronger, he gave me this recycling machine. I will check it often because sometimes people throw away nice stuff. I do some more logging and I find some beehives. Now this time I actually destroy the beehive on purpose, and I capture a queen bee. I caught a queen bee. Beautiful. So oh, there's some more. I make myself as many bee houses as I can, because these will passively generate me honey for some decent income. I find a compactor in my postbox the next morning, which is good stuff. I also find some police pants in the recycling bin. Police pants. I'll help myself to some police pants. I then meet Melvin for the first time. After 59 days, the furniture guy finally came to the island. I make sure to buy his stuff and make him feel welcome and give him some copper bars. But luck was not with me, Melvin will not be staying. I mean, he's missing out. Look at this wonderful crop field he can look at. It does look nice though. Also, I should mention this. Sometimes villagers can help you with watering your crops, but they do a terrible job of it, so I don't rely on their efforts at all. Like, I don't think they'll be picking up these animal droppings. Neither will I at this point. I try out my new compactor next, and oh my god, it's amazing! I love flattening out the terrain to make space for stuff. I want to do this thing, so this is going to be incredible for doing that. I had just given Fletch a butterfly and she's now at max friendship points, so it's time to move on to a new villager in regards to doing daily tasks for. John being the other one at the moment who's also nearly done. Oh, speaking of John by the way. Make a whole bunch, I mean there's 6 beehives outside of John. I think, hey John, are you allergic to bees? Because you're in quite a predicament if you are, mate. So I'm standing here using my flaming bat as a light source, which is just not right. So I make some copper bulb lamps and it's an immediate improvement. Looking good. Alright, I think that's enough for now. Let's go to bed. I don't know why villagers want photos of other villages, but Fletch asked me to get one of Melbourne. This is posted on the community notice board, where Melbourne can see this. Why? On the topic of villages, I move on to Rain and Erwin as the people I will do tasks for until they're at their max friendship. I start compacting the earth on the other side of town, so I have a wide flat space around the town. I love me some flat ground. I took a quick break though. Where is the Melbourne? There he is. Oh, gotcha mate. Hey Fletch. Artemis, how can I help you? I've completed your request with him standing right there. Yes, I did. I got you, the back of you in there. Wow, this is a great photo, Artemis. Oh, that is too good. Okay, I'm quite pleased with how that went. I finally make a compost bin to see what it's all about. Now you'd think that some of that massive amount of shiza I had in my animal pen goes in here. Well, yes, you are correct, but apparently I can compost a lot more than I thought, as you can see with this manual. Clover was back again, and I made sure to give her the farm which she asked for, but she still didn't want to stay here, which was really annoying. It wasn't until after I bought these random shoes that she decided she wanted to stay. Okay, spend money with the NPCs people to convince them to stay. This also means that I need to flatten more land for additional buildings. I love the compactor. I also love when there's a hole in one of these secret rooms in the mines, so there's no need to use keys. I had a good day in here, lots of resources and lots of chunky things to sell, as you can see here. I admired my healthy crop field on the morning of day 62. Speaking of crops, Rain wanted a particular butterfly. There you go. Oh my goodness gracious. She was... Hey Rain, I did that thing for you. This is for you. Rain says, I need a blue moon butterfly, and there was literally one right beside her. And she gave me a floor light. Wow. I'm looking forward to crafting that. That's going to be great. I buy a few extra animals from Oldmate, 2 chickens and this adorable little pleep, and I expand the animal area with extra accommodation for these critters. I do some landscaping and I finally get round to making more compost bins, which I all fill up with some of that huge amount of poop I neglected to pick up. I played a banger for my animals the next morning, but this particular animal still refuses to move in, even after I catch him another animal, which is quite rude. What is the opposite of rude is what Rain does next. Because I've been befriending her, she gives me the plant book. I hold it open next to my crops and I can see how long I have to wait before they are ready to be harvested, which is really good stuff. The mines were not made of good stuff today. Okay, not a good day to begin off at all. I mostly did people's tasks the next day, like buying a wizard hat from Theo. Yeah, it's a deal, mate. Oh goodness gracious me, am I gonna put on this wizard hat? Yep, that's amazing. I'm content with that. This is what a wizard looks like holding a fish, by the way. I crafted a huge amount of cement fences because I wanted to set up a perimeter fence. Hopefully this will keep out wild animals from the town. Now my animals need a water supply. I cut off this body of water and it looks like I can excavate the land to expand this body of water, which is good news. Sally is visiting again and I give her a pink cabinet, but sadly she still doesn't want to move to Musketeerville. She did teach me how to make an ironwood bench, which is something new. Rain is also a welcome benefit, and I get to reap in a big harvest today from my planted wheat, 304 wheat, which is good news. I flatten what is the last bit of raised soil within my perimeter. You can see that the fence goes for quite a while. I also expand the fence around what is going to be my animal area. I make the water hole bigger and I remove this other fence, and this is what it looks like now. Yeah, I like it. This is going to be a nice big animal area. Look at that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. But I can't have dirt. No. I need to plant some grass for them. I also start planting some random plants and trees in the town as well this night. And because of that big harvest, I finally see a decent growth in my farming skill. The town is starting to look quite nice. Oh, by the way, remember when I said I wish there was a way for me to discern bugs and stuff from a distance? Well, Theo has a bug book for sale. I don't get to that just yet. I bought another Wombat and I toss her into a new home. I replant my wheat field, which is about 132 spaces, which is most excellent. So I go ahead and I expand this entire field. I relocate my silo in the middle of the animal area and I replace the feeding troughs all around it. Sheila is here today. I give her some meat on a stick because she asked for it, but she refuses to stay. Hard to please. However, I sell her 16 water brew because that's what she wants today, and I make 280,000 dinks, which is delightful. Theo is selling the fish book today, which is also delightful. I plant a whole lot of carrots in this new area I plowed yesterday. Now this is that fishing book in action. I flip open the pages and I see the names of the fish in the general area, and if I haven't caught one, it comes up with question marks, which is really handy. I catch a Galaxius fish for the first time thanks to this book, and now that I have, when I flip open the pages again, I can identify those fish. Here's the bug one in action. I love this book. There we go, here's a fly right here. That makes finding things significantly easier. Good golly almighty. That has just made my day. That has really made my day. I'm probably going to go on a huge fishing expedition one time just because I want to. That's amazing, I love it. I then rearranged the animal area and I planted some trees in their enclosure. I also terraformed a little lake park over here with some trees to go along with it. So I'm running through my fields and I'm starting to think about how I can improve my farming game. Now Frankie Boy sells a tractor for 1.5 million, which are some big numbers. Now speaking of big, this is a big fish, and while I reel it in, I have to think about how I can make more money to purchase better equipment. One recipe I come across is this fairy bread. It requires 1 bread and sugar, And bread is made of flour, which is only really boiled down to two base ingredients, wheat and sugarcane. I sold one bread to John, and it sold for 4,455. 4 fairy bread goes for 7,876, so I think I'm going to focus on growing fields of sugarcane and wheat to produce this in bulk. The only hiccup is that sugarcane is processed on a 1-for-1 basis, so it takes a little while. I'm probably going to have to expand this operation, which I do by the next morning, but I will probably make more grain mills, and I will also make a cheese press for making the milk I've been getting from these animals. Now I needed to buy extra crop seeds, but you still not, are you stuck, are you? Oh, you're joking me, right? How did you get yourself in this predicament? You idiot. I then had a successful day in the mines, bringing home 2 fossils and a ruby. Now I got round to buying a lot of sugarcane the next day, and I had some absolute good luck just as I was about to resow my fields. Oh, that is appreciated. It just started raining in my game and I'm just about to reseed my fields. I then got round to locating a single doggo because I had this doggo collar. Come on, buddy, let's go. Yeah, he's following me. Oh, that's adorable. Come on, buddy, let's go. Oh, you're digging, are you? Interesting. Oh, well done. Good boy. Good boy. Let's go. After that lovely find, I show him his new doggy house. While Diggo the doggo is sleeping in his new kennel, I put this alpha root to sleep as well for a daily task. Things are going well. I make a big sale the next morning, selling all my fossils, rubies, and everything I've been stocking up. One transaction comes to 500,000, and I deposited another 2 million dinks into the bank, making my savings about 3 million, so I could get another 2,000 permit points as well. With those permit points, I finally get the irrigation license, so I can make sprinklers and a water tank that needs to be in proximity of those sprinklers. In fact, I spend more points to get the second irrigation system, so I can get better sprinklers. They are an upgrade, but they also require a base sprinkler to make, so I'm gonna have to gather some resources. Now my partner said that she found coconuts on her game, so I set out looking for some coconuts myself. I found bottle brush seeds on these islands, which is quite nice, but I row and I look for the better part of the day. Lovely little dinky music playing as I'm rowing for my life with my little magician hat. I eventually find those coconuts on this tiny island, which I promptly take back home and bury, as well as those bottle brush seeds I found as well. Sally is back again. In fact, her and Sheila have been here several times, but I can never convince these two to stay, even when I change my hair color to this lovely shade of red, hidden under the hat of course. I wanted sprinklers, so I started gathering resources for those while being followed by Diggo. Wait, did you get out? How did you get out? Goodness gracious me. I harvest all my carrots, taunt the wildlife, and confirm a suspicion of mine that friendship points do decay over time, so I'm going to endeavor to get everyone maxed out once and then I won't worry about it. I harvest my crops in the morning, improve my friendship points with other people, make some dinks, engage in some combat with an alpha bush devil who proceeds to attempt to light me on fire. I scoff down a sausage roll which improves my health and stamina, but most importantly it doubles my damage output, so this is quite huge. I look up how to make it, and the only thing I don't have readily available is onions. I'm going to have to fix this. I buy a sandcastle the next day from Melvin, but alas, he doesn't want to stay and help me make a real one. Now about those onions. John doesn't sell them today, but he does sell potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew, but I'm sure as hell not paying 3,840 for a single one. Which I won't, but it gives me an idea on how much he will charge for onions. Guess I'll be growing my own fields then. I just have to wait until Rain has them in stock. Also, I haven't shown you this yet. Yes? Oh, just made it. I'm not exactly sure where I got this kite, but there you go. I also start making my sprinklers this night. I arise on day 76 becoming one with my animals, and I work on my farming area next. I have some sprinklers down and also some scarecrows. This is the size of the place. I'm looking at using 16 sprinklers, but I still need to gather some things in the mines to make that happen. I noticed something on day 77. Yep, our entire orchard is... Oh my god, is that all the... Those trees have grown fast? I mean, I haven't been here in a couple of days, but my god, is that them now? Wow! They grew insanely quickly. Goodness me. Okay, fair enough. So Sheila is visiting, but I get really annoyed at her because she always wants something to eat and she usually wants something I can't make. This is a slow process of convincing her to stay. Anyways, I make a sale to John and I see now I was selling 3 opals, which breaks my heart, but there you have it. I had a rather lucrative trip in the mines next, still gathering resources for that farming setup, which is what I'm going to focus on the following day. I rip up my old paths, I buy over 300 wheat seeds, making rain's day again, I relay my paths in this area, I plow this entire field, place down the last of those sprinklers, and then plant every single seed I have. I think this field was 384 spots or something. As I was watering, I saw something I completely forgot today. I had a new visitor. This is Max, Theodore's younger brother. You heard that right, younger brother, though he looks 10 years his senior. He starts larping about fish, so I think just like Julia, he was going to hold a fishing competition today. Damn it. Anyways, here's the entire field, scarecrows as the final touch, and I'm quite happy with it. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? I am so happy with that. That looks so good. Everything's working perfectly. Also, I'm quite the One Piece fan. Nice. I got myself an old straw hat. Oh yeah. Monkey D. Artemis. So instead of depositing 1 dink to the bank, I deposit another 1,000,000, also getting 1,000 perma points again, which I spent on a few licenses of course. I upgrade my house while I'm here as well. I just gotta make sure I drop those resources in the material box here. I then went treasure hunting for all time's sake, and then I decide for future expansion on my farm. I will expand in this direction, but I do need to flatten this big hill, so I start this task tonight, and with these power tools, it shouldn't take long at all. I made these new looms, which I can finally spin that wool I've been hoarding from my plebes. So for one wool, John offers me 2,300 or something, but for cloth, he offers me 5,600, which is a huge increase. I think plebes just became my favorite animal. I wake up on day 81 and my house is bigger, which is quite nice. Not very organized, but ain't nobody got time for that, because I'm going for a hunt today, specifically a shark, because I need a shark flake for those fish and chips that Sheila is always hounding me for. I grab some slingshots and I have a quick look to see how they work. At first, I find my quarry and I beat it with a flaming bat, which doesn't work. I stab it and it simply swims away. So I pull out my secret weapon. Okay, much easier than what I thought it would be. Well, there you go, that's how you kill a shark. With a slingshot. Who would have thought? Oh, goodness me. King of the ocean, taken down by the mighty slingshot. I find that way too funny, I think. So I had a random stroke of luck the next day. Melbourne has an investigation task on the board. Sure, Melbourne, we'll go and do that. So it looks like we're doing the compost type stuff today. Really? Out in the middle of the ocean? Goodness gracious me, mate. Oh. Wait, what's this? Okay. I've got 2 question marks here. Before I investigate, I waste money at Sally's with no luck with her moving in. I row over and I see this bigger boat out here. Inside, I find this fella called Jimmy, and he's a trader. He only buys things in bulk, 50 items at a time, but at double the usual price, which sounds pretty good to me. I don't have anything like that on me, however, but he also sells random things but at incredibly high prices, which is really out of my reach. I mean, 800,000 for 5 keys I can dig up? Get out of here. So other than setting an alpha jackaroo on fire the next day, I did some more land clearing for my future farm expansion. Speaking of farming, I had 90 tomatoes and Sheila was buying them on special, so of course I took advantage of that deal. But before that, she finally asked me for something I could actually make, fairy bread. Guess I hunted that shark for no good reason at all. But she did give me almost 90,000 for those tomatoes. Also, this is what the town looks like from atop the bank. I wake up the next morning with a superpower. I woke up in a bigger house and I am levitating. You see, I don't wear that magical wizard hat for no reason. And yes, I upgraded the house again. I also start placing down these garden beds and they're quite nice. You can chuck the plants directly into them. Hey, it's the 1st of spring. Sunday the 1st of spring. And what does that mean? Well, this means there's going to be a bunch of new bugs and fish out there for me to catch. Before that, I buy a bunch of onion seeds for those sausage rolls I wanted to make. And yes, those books really help locating anything I haven't caught or are missing for the museum. So for example, the fish book, everything I have caught so far has the museum icon next to it, meaning I have donated all the fish I have caught thus far. I'll donate anything new the next day, but here is my second farming plot. It's nearly ready. So yes, I was able to donate 4 new fish this day. I then buy 384 sugarcane, which I will plant after I gather all this wheat that has grown. Doing this manually takes quite a while, and I start to wonder about buying that tractor. I do end up with 1,164 wheat, which is huge. I can't forget to sow the fields with the sugarcane though. They take 12 days to grow, so hopefully I can make a big sale of fairy bread before the 100 days. Cool, that is a mighty fine looking field. Alright, let's just get straight into the mines, I reckon. Indeed, straight into the mines, because behind that field was an empty field that needed sprinklers before it's going to function. Today was the longest day I spent down here. Plenty of fossils and rubies and a decent haul of ore, as you can see here. I will be using them shortly as I want to get this tractor from Franklin, so I do track this recipe today. It does cost 20 iron bars, which is quite a lot, not as much as 1.5 million. Speaking of, I have the funds needed to buy this right now, with my current funds. However, I go and deposit another million for another 1,000 permit points, then I simply withdraw what I need again. So I go and see Franklin. I have some, can you make me something? Yeah, I won't waste your time, mate. For 1.5 million, I will not be wasting your time. Oh, baby. I can't wait until tomorrow. I fly into my second field today and I start sorting out my fields, as I have some sprinklers down there already. So I plant some onions and potatoes this day. I was going to plant wheat as well, but oh, never mind. Come on, Rain, you know I'm good for it. We're BFFs, aren't we? And it's too late to take money out of the bank and she's done for the day. Oh well. I wake up the next morning and Franklin has stuffed a tractor into my mailbox, which is a solid effort if I do say so myself. So I go ahead and I try it out. Let's just plop this down. Oh, nice. Look at this thing. But what now? Oh, Jesus, what's this? Come here, little guy. Oh, it actually works. I did not expect that. See, it wasn't me. It was the big tractor. Don't worry, I took care of it for you. I am now your BFF. You can pay me in advance someday. That's amazing. I see that I need to buy the individual plow licenses from Fletch, however. I have to pay 4,000 permit points to be able to plow with my own tractor. The next level is the planting plow, which then costs a further 6,000 permit points. Okay? I go and test out the plowing mechanic, but that only helps me so much. I'm a little bit irked that I can't plant with this thing. The helicopter would have been a nice purchase. 3 million dinks, which I have, sure, but 7,200 permit points next to that 6,000 for the tractor, that is a stretch for these 100 days. At least I find plenty of fossils in the mines to console myself. Also, I have some really good news. I bring Sheila a loaf of bread on day 90, and she finally decided to move to the island, which is great news. It only took 1.25 hearts of friendship. Her tuck shop is quite expensive though. I'll look into these jelly brews shortly. For now, I choose the site for her tuck shop. But for those jellies, the only thing I can think of is a kwangdong. I might have to chuck a few of them into a keg or something. But luckily, I'm metal detecting the next day, and as I'm doing that, I cast my gaze on these jellies floating out in the water. I get myself stung for the first time by a jelly. I'm surprised that's never happened before. Ow! That's a jelly. I'm also poisoned, it seems. Can I wash it off? I make sure to kill a few more of those jellyfish, but back home I see that the keg requires 10 of these, meaning to make these jelly things I need 30 of them. So I'm going late night jellyfish hunting. Luckily, a slingshot works perfect for this. So while I got those 3 jellies brewing, I collect what I needed for the tuck shop. It also required bottle brush and water brew. Speaking of which, do you want to stay yet? Yes, finally! So I spoke to Fletch and I applied for bees. Oh my goodness gracious. You know, you were a conundrum. How many? 2.5 hearts? 2.25 hearts? Indeed, it was 2.25 hearts before she wanted to move in. Quite a long time. I think Melvin is the last one I need to come to the island. At least her salon is only 320,000 instead of 750. The materials are much easier to collect as well. I set her place up next to Clover's shop. Now I'm about to go into the mines and I always saw this weird bat statue thing in there. So I did a little bit of research. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is it. So let's see what this is all about. What do I get? A backglider. Fly around like an annoying bat. Okay, that sounds like fun. Indeed, I got a bat glider, and just like a regular one, I can now glide, but feeling like Batman. I see those blue jellies are ready the next day, which is good news. Sally's salon is already good to go, and I see that I can use her mirror in here to change the structure of my face, which is quite extraordinary. Sheila's tuck shop will be ready shortly as well. I take out some cash because I wanted to at least buy that helicopter, but unfortunately Franklin gives me this. He won't make it for me because I don't have the right license, and I think that's not going to be a thing in these 100 days. However, I come across this piece of golden comedy the next morning. Urban, I would love to see a photo of Oh no. I oblige, of course. Hey, buddy. Don't go far. Huh? I did that thing for you. You got the photo for me, I got the photo of you. Yeah, mate, it's all yours. Oh, that was good. Why? Oh, it's fine. Oh, yeah, Melvin. Speaking of Melvin, it seems today I just had to pop my head in for a quick chat and he was eager to move in. There you have it. 145,000 for his shop, I toss it back here and I deposit all the materials. No worries. Alright, so there we go. That should be the last building. So that means all the residents, or all the people that I can speak to that I've seen over the last almost 100 days can now finally move in, which is great news, which is wonderful news actually. Later, I backglide into my secondary farm area. I place down some missing sprinklers, only 4 more to go. I make the silly mistake of hoeing my fields. Now what options? Oh, what am I doing? Ha! What am I doing? I can bloody, you know... I make quick work of the fields with my tractor. Day 95, I went into the mines looking for rubies. I wasn't going to sell these ones, I wanted to break them open to get the shards. You'll see why shortly. I investigate Sheila's tuck shop, which looks quite nice. Even John and Theo are in here. Theo is constantly worried about his museum not being organized, and John's like, "It's fine, mate." I did a lot of metal detecting because I was going to need keys where I was going. Of course, when you're actually looking for keys, you then struggle to find them, which is the case today. I used my tractor to harvest my crops the next morning, and this is quite efficient. I am a fan of this. Now, while playing this game, I sometimes got a loading screen saying something about the undergrowth. There is this extra console in the mining elevator that accepts 4 shards. I take the lift down and I'm in the mines below the mines. I didn't know this was a thing. There's a lot of fauna down here and trees, which I think you need a chainsaw to cut down. I run into these really fast snapping lizards. There also only seems to be iron ore down here. I come across suicidal bugs that roll at you and it's really gross. And there's heaps of them. I see that they spawn out of this hole in the ground, so I have to destroy that to get rid of them. I find a treasure room, not just a room, several rooms all connected, so you need several keys to unlock all the doors, but I do find several emeralds within these rooms. I also find a giant man-eating plant that spits poison at me. Good stuff indeed. Another emerald shortly later, but I also meet with some hostility. Yeah, so you also need the chainsaw down here. Ow, you little... No! You little shit! No, you know what they did? They attacked me. I'm too sick. Oh god, okay. Let's jump in the water. Turns out I can't eat when I'm poisoned. Anyways, I walk away from this expedition with 5 emeralds. It would have been 6, but you know. I share my thoughts on day 98. And I also feel like I could do a lot better with the town itself. But the thing is though, what I want to do is start from scratch and actually relocate the entire town. But I want to like build up a whole new town, if that makes sense, and make it look very nice and actually incorporate elevations and stuff like that. Also, emeralds seem to be the same as rubies, but because you get a lot of them down here, it kind of makes it worthwhile to go down to the undergrowth. But backtracking a second, I was talking about relocating the entire town. That is going to require a 200 days follow-up video. I do have about 30 extra days recorded, so if you guys do want me to do 200 days, let me know. Here's a taste of what the relocation is looking like so far. Quite a large project. On day 99, I come across this chest in the undergrowth. It has blueprints in it, which is good stuff, and there's ore that's called Baconium, which I've never heard of. I do get a few new crafting recipes unlocked, thanks to those blueprints. Apparently I mined up some marble here as well, which was actually on the ground, but I didn't see it at this time. So it's the final day, day 100. I played a special song for all my animals, which was good stuff. I look at the calendar and I see that there's actually a Musketeerville day at the end of this month, which would make it 1 year in-game time. I see that with those ores, Franklin wants 10 of them, so this is something I need to investigate in the future. I also researched that the airport doesn't become available until your 2nd year in Dinkum, which is also something left unexplored. I observe my efforts in the last 100 days from on top of the bank again, and I think about that massive relocation I want to do. I can go for 200 days, there is in fact plenty left unexplored. But for the first 100 days, I feel quite content with where I'm up to. The town has all the residents you can have, so far as I'm aware. My farming expansion is well on its way to becoming massive. I conquered the first mining area with some huge hiccups, and now discovered the undergrowth that I need to plunder. But what's in store for 200 days? Relocating the entire town, optimizing and trying new things in the game that I haven't already, exploring what Franklin can still make for me, building an airport and experiencing the holiday island, investigate the Baconium ore. If you want to see 200 days, let me know. In the meantime, why not check out this 300 Days Stardew Valley movie, or 300 Days of Graveyard Keeper. Both were absolute bangers. One for all and all for one. Cheers, Musketeers.